Thanks for joining us on the John Mendola Show. We were driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. Let's talk Dallas cross country. More success for them once again. Matt Samuel, the head coach, is joining us right now, along with Lindsey Oremus. And Matt, let's first talk about the girls, and we'll get to Lindsey momentarily. But 11-0 on both the girls and the guys, but the young ladies doing a fabulous job after some graduation.
Yeah, you know, our ladies, we have a pretty good tradition up here at Dallas these days, and we had the state championship last year. We were able to win that, and have some girls go on to some collegiate success right now. But these girls that we have, for them to pick up the ball like they are right now, it's just tremendous. These young ladies that I have with me, we have some inexperienced girls, but we have some really good leaders like Lindsey Oremus, who's able to help these girls attain the success that they're having this year, and we're just really fortunate to see it rolling along as it is right now.
Coach, when you talk about a young lady like Lindsey, tell us about the attributes she has that gives her so much success when she's out there on the course.
Well, I'll tell you what, Lindsey is obviously listened to, people that have come before her, but not only that, Lindsey's definitely one of the hardest working young ladies I've had the privilege of coaching. She really has, put forth a lot of effort into this season, but every season that she's been here. Another thing that's really important with Lindsey is that she's just really taken up the role of the leader of the team right now. We've had some injuries this season, and we had what we had last year, some loss in leadership there, and Lindsey has definitely stepped right into the fray, and led our teams to led our girls team to success. But not only is she a great leader with the girls, she's a great leader with the guys. She's just all-around special athlete that we have.
Well, let's welcome in Lindsey Oremus here on the John Mendola Show, driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. And Lindsey, talk about your success out there. I know you attribute a lot of it to good coaching. I'm sure you have a nice family as well. And all together, we're putting out a great product with Lindsey Oremus.
Hi, John. Honestly, my team drives me so much, and they push me so much, both the boys and the girls. And with Allie being hurt this year, it makes you work harder and makes you want to step up more for the team. And I have supporters everywhere. My school's really supportive, and my family is definitely my number one supporters. My mom and my dad come to every meet for my sister and I, and my coach has been there since freshman year, pushing me to go faster and training me to do better things. And I've literally improved every year, and I'm really happy with where I am right now, and I hope to keep up with that success.
Well, I think all of us in life, we tend to compare ourselves to other people. But if you just get a little better every time out, whether it's in school or cross country, whatever you're doing, that's the goal. And talk about your improvement since your freshman year, Lindsey.
Well, John, my freshman year, I started out, I didn't even want to run cross country. I was just doing it to stay in shape for track. So I was training hard, of course, under coach, because we always have to train hard. But I was running 21s and and occasionally a 20. And then my sophomore year I got a little bit better, and I was 20s. And last year I broke, I believe it was last year, it was my first 19, but I broke right into the 19s. And once I got there, I was I can do this. And my team was always there for me. And after we won the state championship, it drives you, but it also reminds you that you're not going to have the same team back next year. And coming into this season, it was really hard for me to not have that state's team back, but the team this year that came up, we're really pushing together, we're really working hard, and it not only drives you to do better, but it makes me a better teammate and a better person and a better leader because I have such great people to train with, and it really helps with my success.
Lindsey, how do you get into the psyche of a runner? You hear athletes all the time, a football player or a soccer player, or sometimes, they may do a different sport, basketball, and, man, I can't stand running. That's one thing at practice. I don't want to be running. Well, this is your life. You're made to run, and you're made to run, at a good speed, and you have to keep improving. Tell us about that mentality as a runner.
It's true. It's a lot of sports punishment, and I don't understand why, but I absolutely love it. It was really hard at first to sacrifice the things that we sacrifice because we have to eat a lot differently than other sports. We have to make sure that we get our sleep. I mean, we have really early practices where, a soccer practice might be 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and our workout might be 7 o'clock in the morning. So it's a lot of dedication, and we have to push hard, and we really have to get our brains to also follow that mentality of, working hard and being able to make the sacrifices that we make, because it's a whole body process. You have to be physically dedicated, you have to be mentally dedicated, you have to be in it with your heart, and I really think that's what it's all about, is making sacrifices.
Well, let's ask that similar question to Coach Samuel. Matt, for you, coaching kids that run, and that's something you did as an athlete when you were younger, and I'm sure you still enjoy running now that you're a little older, but, actually coaching them, because, if you're at a football practice, you could get on your guys, you see everything they're doing. I would think as a cross-country runner, they may go out for a few miles and they may come back. How do you approach the little stuff of what they're supposed to do, whether it's the strategies or their forms and all those different things that are built into making a quality cross-country runner?
Well, I tell you what, the question that I probably get more often than not is, how do you coach these kids? How are they, what do you do? Just tell them to go out and run? That's as simple as it gets. And, and that certainly isn't anything close to what, we end up doing. A lot of the things that I do besides just thinking about, what kind of training that we're going to do, and I spend a lot of time, reading and researching and going and picking the brains of, smarter people than myself, to find out maybe what we should do. But a lot of the things that we spend a lot of time on are, the little things, the peripheral things. We spend a lot of time talking about nutrition. We spend the time talking about how important sleep is and the things that are outside of our practices. Those things are the things that really make the athlete, a really special athlete. And they've accounted for much of the success that, we've been fortunate enough to have out here. But, some of the other things that we spend a lot of time with at our practices are, what are we going to, how are we going to attack this next race, or how are we going to attack this next team, or, what do we need to do? Like, what do we need, where, who has to be where, who's going to run with who and, do those things. And, it's also just a lot of managing of emotions. We have, we all want to do well, and then there's certain times where some kids are, down or hurting, or they just haven't had a good one, in the last couple of days. And, you just kind of have to manage the emotions of this, of these teams that you have. And girls are different than boys, and there's no good or bad about that, but it just is what it is. So, it's a whole process. There's a lot more that really goes into it, and our athletes really embrace that too. This is theirs. This is their team, and they really take up the challenge, and they make my job certainly a lot easier at that point.
Well, Matt, we know you're doing your best there and putting out the results year after year. Lindsey, for you, on top of Coach Samuel's question there, he says it's their team. I think you take part of that as the boys are part of your team as well, and you get along pretty well with those guys, and they're doing a great job. Curtis Sod, one of the guys leading the way there for the Mountaineers.
I love my boys team, John. This is honestly, for me, the closest I've ever been with the boys team. Curtis and I have been friends since elementary school, so it's really a blessing to have him as, my other senior on the team that I can confide in and I can talk to about, kind of the big kid stuff, so to speak. Curtis is doing a spectacular job leading them and showing them, what the high school life and the high school sports is all about. And I think that my girls' team we're all really close. We're all good friends and stuff outside of school. So it's really nice to have that closeness between both teams and not just be the girls' team and the boys' team, because honestly, I train with them and I like to joke around with them, and it just makes practice a little bit less stressful knowing that you have such a great team running beside you or running before you.
Well, Lindsey, continued success for you the rest of the season with your teammates. And Matt Samuel, as always, we appreciate your time, and we wish you well the rest of the season. I know you're a big fan of everybody in District 2, and I think we're going to bring home some medal this year, safe to say, in District 2 overall.
Yeah, I definitely hope so. We got some really special teams out here, so it's nice to see that iron sharpening iron at this point, so that's good stuff.
Well, here we are, the Dallas Cross Country team. Both the boys and girls are undefeated, and we'll see how the rest of the season goes, and we have plenty of quality teams here in northeastern Pennsylvania. Dallas Cross Country of the John Mendola Show, driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers.